How's it going? So, first of all, first video ever. I don't even know what I'm going to say. But I do know certain things that I want to touch on that I feel are going to be good resources or motivation for anybody who feels less than or, I guess, lost in a way. So first of all, I'm not in a position to say that I'm doing better than anybody and that I've figured anything out, that's for sure. But I do know that I have been learning along the way. And the key thing for me is just to be persistent. And if you've came from any kind of a background where you felt lower than or less than, you never had anything, and those are negative energies that end up building up inside of you, and whether you know it or not, to this day, you probably have it stuck in you, and that's what's holding you back subconsciously. And I'm here to say that I'm a product of that as well, and it took a long time for me to acknowledge that, to figure that out. And through studying and through my own trials and tribulations, I figured out that yes, we do hold a lot of negative energy inside, and that in turn prohibits us from being able to go on, to move to the next step. What do we do next? How do we get the fuck out of this negative cycle of just not being able to get to the next fucking level? To prove to yourself that you are worthy to make this much money, to do this, to have that, and to stay happy. It's the biggest thing that I've had a fucking issue with. Staying happy. How do you stay happy if nothing seems to work? Well, what I figured out is that you really just have to fucking let it go. You gotta face it. You definitely have to face it. You have to become aware of what it is that makes you feel a certain emotion, and then in turn that emotion will make you act a certain way or do a certain thing. And when you figure that out, you become aware, you can then address it. And it's easier said than done, no doubt about it, but repetition, being aware of what you're thinking and what you're feeling before you react, is what's going to be able to help change that. And I just hope that it's easier for people to understand than it was for me, because I went through a few years, probably my whole life, but the last 3-4 years really was a huge learning curve for me, and I'm still going through it. But I've been able to manipulate my thoughts, and not so much manipulate, but yeah, I guess manipulate into just understanding, and use that negative energy quickly and just transfer it into positive energy, and don't think about what has happened and what could happen. You got to think about, who are you now? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be? And if the same thoughts are leading to the same reactions, the same thing that you've done before, you're gonna have the same outcome. It's gonna be the same thing over and over, like it's always been. But if you just step back, become somebody new, have mercy on yourself, but become somebody new, and just embrace the fact that, this is real. You've been doing this. And, what do you want to do? How do you want to feel? It's a big question. And it's gonna have a lot to do with what goes on in your mind, what you really want for yourself. So I hope that everybody who heard that takes that with a grain of salt, and applies their own methods, applies their own understanding, because it is different for all of us. There's the same concepts, same rules for whatever, but everybody has their own style within doing that. So let's just say, take it as you will, and I hope that this video helped you. Thanks for listening, and have a good day.